What's up, everybody?
We're back.
That's right. It's almost Halloween. Isn't that exciting? We were gonna dress up, but we decided that dads don't really dress up, and so it would be more on theme to not dress up than to dress up. But to still be on theme, I wore my Stranger Things Ghostbusters mashup shirt. Yeah, thank you.
I've never seen that one before.
If you saw Stranger Things season dose, you know that they did do a whole Ghostbusters thing on there. Anyway, good to be back with all of you that are watching, or if you're listening to the podcast, that's awesome too. Although the podcast will be published like a full week after Halloween, so happy post-Halloween to those listening on the podcast version.
Yep.
We are your boys from Frustration Nation. You can go check us out every Tuesday and Thursday everywhere you can get podcasts. Our Twitter is at RealFN Podcast. Mine is at KEGeorge94. His is at Michigan Hat. It's down at the bottom there.
I got it right first try that time.
Yeah, good job. I will always get it wrong. Today's episode. Oh, and our email, frustrationnation@shootyourshotsports.com. We actually do have a Twitter for Dad Bod. We just haven't used it quite yet because we don't have a lot of followers. So if you want to help that problem, you can go follow at Dad_Bod_Central. There's all our info. Today's episode is brought to you. We're presented by Shoot Your Shot Sports, brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. As a father, we take many risks in life, like getting blown out in cap or no cap. So
yeah, no comment.
What was the score of that again? 10 to 4, 10 to 5?
Yeah, that's not really even a risk anymore because that's just a foregone conclusion.
Well, you know how like Halloween is scary and how there's tricks or treats. Well, you're getting your punishment tonight.
It's tonight?
It is tonight. And your wife has what you need upstairs. So go check with her and I'll finish the Thrive Fantasy read and you can come back down.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right. Well, while he is getting that, you know where else you can also take important risks is in fantasy sports. Thrive Fantasy is cool because they allow you to select various player props under different categories for each respective sport. Each prop has a fantasy point total associated with the over or under based on its likelihood to occur. For example, you could take the I messed that up. You could take the over on the children fathered by Philip Rivers or the under on fathers present in the Kardashian-Jenner family. The more points each selection is worth, the riskier it is. Rack up the most points to win a share of the prize pool. And you can go right now to the App Store, Google Play Store to download that app or go to www.thrivefantasy.com. Use our promo code FNFantasy when you sign up today and you'll receive an instant $20 bonus on your first deposit of 20 or more. Although they are matching up to 50 now, as long as you have a minimum deposit of 20. So go sign up and prop up today. I'm Furious George. Michigan Hat will be here in a second. You can call us Daddy. And when he gets back, we'll talk about what his punishment is. And we'll get into our adventures in fatherhood. We have a segment that we normally do on Frustration Nation that we're going to do on this show because our podcast, Frustration Nation, we're doing an all Halloween themed show. So you want to check that out tomorrow when that comes out. But for tonight, we're going to move our weekly scorecast where we talk about the games coming up, what we think is going to happen. We're going to do that this week. So a lot of things to get to, including Man in Michigan Hat's punishment. So let's see if he's back. Are you there?
Oh, no.
So, do you want to tell everybody what your punishment is? Oh, she bought the squeeze bottle. That's even better.
Oh,
I figured she was gonna buy like a jar, and my idea was you would like spoon.
It has pulp in it.
I figured you'd like put spoonfuls in your mouth. So the idea is I'm not going to make you finish this whole bottle during this episode. I'm not. No. But you need to be working on this throughout the episode. And it'll continue to be your punishment until the bottle's gone. So
oh my
so like
Lord.
On next, if you don't have it done by next week's Dad Bod, you'll do it on next week's Dad Bod too. So Do you have anything you can puke into? Because I know
I actually did bring something.
Okay, good. So the only way I know this, listeners, I had no idea if you I didn't know about relish. So fortunately, I'm friends with his wife on Facebook and was able to work this all out with her. So
Hannah, so when I went upstairs, she's watching right now. I know. So, oh man. Oh great, she already unsealed it. That's very thoughtful. Oh, I smell it.
So I noticed this is dill relish. Have you had both dill and sweet?
No, is dill the worst one?
I prefer dill, but I really like dill pickles. Do you like dill pickles?
No.
Do you like sweet pickles?
Not really, but it'd probably be better. I'm guessing this is more like a pickle, stronger, saltier pickle taste, right?
I mean, yeah. So pickles, they're like salty, kind of vinegary. Yeah. Are you even going to be able to participate on the show?
We'll fight. This is going to be.
Oh man, I'm excited for this. This is honestly what I was looking most forward to tonight. So maybe you, if you're able to, you could even. I don't know. I was going to say mute yourself so you don't bother the listeners, but I also don't care.
Oh my.
So let's watch the first spoonful together, everybody. Here he goes.
I have to get my water ready.
Yeah, no kidding. This is for getting blown out a cap or no cap.
Should have taken that more seriously. Got 2 bottles of water open.
Here he goes. Oh boy. It's gonna be rough. Man, it's gonna be rough whenever I do lose cap or no cap. I'm just trying to enjoy it while I can. Well, while he's working on that, I'm gonna go ahead and start with my adventure in fatherhood for today. Are you gonna be all right there? You're not allergic, right?
No.
Okay, good.
And it just kills me. Oh, that's awful.
All right. Well, kind of interestingly along with this, my adventure in fatherhood is this week we got back from a trip to Michigan with my in-laws. We were celebrating my mother-in-law's birthday as Shane hurls on Did you swallow any of it?
Yeah, I swallowed like almost all of it.
Oh, good job. Good on you.
Not a quitter.
Hey, good thing she didn't shop at Costco, huh?
Right, gallon.
Yeah.
Oh, I barely even put a dent in it.
All right. So we got back from Michigan, and by the way, I tried to record this video to show you. It didn't turn out, so I didn't show it to you. But we went to. Have you ever been to Frankenmuth? Yeah. Okay. And you know how they have that big like Christmas shop in Frankenmuth?
Yep.
So that's where we went. Yeah, Bronner's. My mother-in-law has always wanted to go there. So we went there, and they had like a huge Michigan display. It almost felt like a shrine to the Michigan Wolverines. Like there were totem poles and all sorts of stuff. Yeah,
animal sacrifices.
Yep, exactly. Anyway, we got back, and the kids were sick, and so this week my adventure in fatherhood has just been dealing with sick kids. I've been sick a little bit. None of it's COVID, even though everything's COVID. Like you making those noises from eating your dill relish would probably be interpreted.
That was a side effect of COVID.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to quarantine.
So that's my adventure in fatherhood. What about you?
I have to check my notes. I don't even remember what I put. My energy is all off. I thought the challenge was going to be like a far in the future thing, not a go upstairs, get it now thing.
I figured that since it's Halloween, trick or treat, like things that are scary or frightening to us. I figured that it was on theme.
Hannah, why couldn't you have told him something I like? Like, oh, he hates barbecue sauce.
Oh yeah,
terrible. Okay. So my adventure in fatherhood is this past weekend. We had Lila's birthday party. No relish was served, thankfully. But it was fun. Her family from Ohio came.
You're
to visit,
depriving her of relish. She might enjoy it.
Oh, I'll let her have some of this. Help me put a dent in it. This is gonna be like several episodes. This won't be like this episode and next episode. It might be like one spoonful an episode for a year. Oh,
well, you don't want it to. You don't want it to get. You don't want it to get like moldy or anything though. Moldy. Moldy relish. Be an
new band name called it.
Oh man.
So it was good. Yeah, see some family and yeah, had a good birthday party.
But she officially turns 1 this Saturday.
On
right?
Halloween, yeah, this Saturday. So. Spooky. Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. Number 1. It's a big one.
Yeah.
So won't have another big one till 20 years from now. I'm just kidding.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
You're sweet 21.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Oh yeah. So her golden birthday will be 31st.
31. Yeah.
That's like as old as you can be to have a golden birthday.
True.
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah. Yep. Huh.
That's cool. Evie already had hers this year. She was July 3rd. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder, like, if you're born on that leap year, extra day of February, what the chances are you even hit your golden birthday?
Ooh.
Would it just be 1 in 4? Like every other, I guess.
Well, that's because 29's an odd number.
Mm-hmm.
And leap years happen on even numbers. 4, 4, 4, 4. Right? So how could you even... Is it even mathematically possible?
It would be, right? You'd have to just turn 29. Oh, wait.
Because I'm saying
depending on like if you were... Because even though it's every 4 years, you could have been born the year before and it'd be an odd years for you.
But how would you be born the year before if you were born on a leap year?
Oh, you're right.
You'd have to be born on a leap day.
And then it'd be 4 years from...
Every 4 years. So
you'd already be in that leap year cycle. So yeah, it'd be impossible to be 29.
Yeah. So you'd be, I guess, 28.
And you'd probably hit it then.
Yeah. Wow. Must be miserable for those people. My cousin Gwen is one of those people. So shout out to Gwen. I know you're watching.
That's cool.
So, all right. Well, listen, I'm not going to force you to keep eating this, but it would.
I will eat at least one more spoonful this episode.
Okay, good.
I'll have to just plan.
Of pickles helps the medicine go down.
I'm not ready yet.
Gotcha.
We'll get there. I have to mentally prepare myself.
And I have to be understand. Like for me, I love dill pickles. So like, I could do.
He just starts rolling the segments. I can't. Maybe I'll get to that level of mental fortitude, but
what if you were to like go puree it and like drink it? Would that be would that be better or worse?
You're disgusting.
Well,
it actually probably would be better though.
I don't know. I mean, it would be easier to get it all down probably instead of chewing on the chunks.
Oh. That is one of the parts that like got me. It tasted like it was like pencil shavings or something.
I've never had a pencil that tasted like don't give no protein powder. It's relish, okay? Get that comment out of here. All right. Well, dad jokes. I actually have a riddle for you.
Okay.
So and let's
actually try to guess it.
Yeah, and if you get the riddle wrong, you have to take a spoonful. How about that? So there you go. All right. So there is a It's a dad joke because it is kind of a dad answer, even though it's a riddle. So there's this really, really, really huge wall, and you're on one side of the wall, and on the other side of the wall there's a $25 bill, and this wall is so big it goes all the way up, so high you can't climb over it. It goes so down into the earth you can't dig under it, and it's so thick you can't go through it. So how do you get the $25 bill?
Is this like a Trump wall joke?
It is not related to Donald Trump.
Okay. How do I get the 25? Say the last part again. How do I get the $25 bill? That's just the question.
That's just the question.
Okay.
And the wall is too high for you to go over, too low for you to dig under, and too thick for you to go through.
Go around it?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. It's too long to go around it.
Oh. I was like, am I just missing? Okay.
It's impossible to get through the wall.
In
any way.
How do I get the $25 bill? I have no idea.
Well, get a spoonful ready. And the answer is there's no such thing as a $25 bill.
I was overthinking the details.
I know. I love that riddle for that.
All right. That was good.
Also because I hate it when people are like, hey, do you want to hear a riddle? No, because I never know the answer. And so this is my riddle I always respond to people with.
You trick other people with?
Yeah. So enjoy. Oh, here he goes. This is arguably better than any dad joke I could ever tell. We might as well get Joe Rogan on here and host an episode of Fear Factor. Oh, man.
I would rather eat like insects than that.
Well, we could arrange for you to eat insects and that.
No, I'm okay. Said, oh, really? Yeah, actually, probably really.
So, all right.
Wow.
Do you have a dad joke prepped for us?
Yeah, so I've got the first one I came up with. It's not a dad joke. It's got a special place to me because I heard it when I was like in probably middle school at summer camp, and it's just one of those jokes I've remembered. It's kind of inappropriate, but not really. All right, so the joke is there's 3 people on a desert island, and they're caught by cannibals. So the first person, I feel like I should be saying like what kind of person each one is to like enhance the joke, but I can't remember exactly how it went. The people are all captured. The cannibals tell them, if you want to live, go to the jungle, find 10 fruits and come back. Have you heard this joke or no?
I don't think so.
Find 10 fruits, like the same kind of fruit, find 10 of them and come back. He's like, if you think you've heard it, like, yeah, let me know. But the first guy comes back, he's got 10 coconuts. They say, all right, you have to fit all 10 of your fruit in your butt and you will survive. So he gets the first one in with a lot of difficulty. Second one can't.
That,
and he's
by
killed.
the way, listeners, that one is out of the question for a future punishment of cap or no cap.
I'll switch. So he dies. He just gets one. The next guy comes back and he's got grapes. So he gets like 8 or 9 up there. And he's doing pretty good, doing well. And then he just starts laughing. Everything falls out. He dies. In heaven, he meets the first guy and he says, what happened? Why? You were so close. You almost made it. Why'd you start laughing? And he said, I saw the third guy coming back with pineapples. It's not even that funny. It's just funny as a kid.
It is really. No, I like that. And I do think I've heard something like that with the pineapple thing, but I like that.
It's probably just similar. Yeah.
It actually reminded me of another dad joke that I'll save for next week. So come check out next week's episode to see more relish eating and that joke. Yeah. All right. Well, here's what I want to do. I told you that we're doing our scorecast on Dad Bod tonight.
Yep.
Because our Frustration Nation episode, as I told all the listeners while you're getting your yummy treat, that we are doing a full Halloween episode for Frustration Nation. So our scorecast is tonight. So before we get into the scorecast, actually, what I want to do is I want to read our ads. I want to do our fit or fat, and then we'll end with the scorecast, since the scorecast we both get really passionate about. So
That'll work. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So first of all, for ads related, Fanatics is a great place where you can buy all sorts of gear, including the Michigan hat the man Michigan hat is wearing.
Relish.
I'm not sure if they sell relish. That you might want to call customer service for that one.
Excuse me, do you have relish? I'm planning on buying, and you should totally do this too if you're a Bears fan, is they are selling officially the Clark Griswold Bears hat, the one that he wears in Christmas Vacation. Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
So I'm planning on picking one of those up myself, and where I'm planning on buying that is where you should buy your stuff, and that is through our link, which is at shootyourshotsports.com/frustration nation. So we have a link there to Fanatics. Buy it through our link. You get a discount, and we get some of the proceeds, and it teamwork makes the dream work. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing to mention here is the Shoot Your Shot Sports store. So I'm wearing one of the hats that are super cool. You can get hats. This is one of many colors you can get there. This is our navy one. This is also the flat bill kind. You can get a dad hat where it's curved, which maybe would be more appropriate for Dad Bod Central. But
that was one of the first things you got on there, right? You've had that for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the hat in like July, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
I like
August.
the hat a lot. Yeah,
the hats are super cool. Good job to shout out to Richie for getting those designed. But there's a whole bunch of different shirts on there, so you can find our stuff at the Frustration Nation collection. And also right now, for just like today, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday, it's still October, so you can get stuff from our Pink Ribbon collection, and 100% of the proceeds go towards breast cancer research. So definitely go check that out. My mother-in-law actually bought the Things I Hate shirt, and it has 3 things: the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, and cancer. And I saw it when we were in Michigan over the weekend. She was wearing it, and it turned out really well. So definitely go check out the Pink Ribbon collection and support a great cause. All right, let's talk about fit or fat.
All right.
So does relish fit into your keto diet?
I was gonna say I've been doing really well. I've been eating a lot of relish. So I've actually been doing well with the diet side, because I mentioned, I think on Dad Bod Central last episode, that I had just been like sick on and off. So I'm better overall, but just still kind of getting over it. So my appetite just still hasn't been great. So I haven't been going to the gym. I went yesterday, but that was the first time in like a week I'd been. But I have been doing well with my diet. I've dropped like 8 pounds
dude.
in the past few weeks. So, which, because I haven't been to the gym, some of that's probably been muscle too. But yeah, I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight, so that'll be good.
Nice.
So yeah, what about you?
I've been awful. So last week we left on Wednesday and went to my in-laws, and we're there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and because my mother-in-law's birthday was on Wednesday, and with me teaching remotely, as long as I have Wi-Fi, I can pretty much teach from wherever. And then we were in Frankenmuth, and so it was just like, whenever you're on the road, even when you're at your in-laws' house, there's just a lot of eating out you do, and also it's hard to maintain your habit, which I have this nutritional system I do with my wife, and so it's just been rough. And then this week, trying to get back into it, it was one of those things where we just, like, this week has been so exhausting, because one, I mentioned how a lot of my household has been sick, kind of getting over colds, and when you're sick, you certainly don't feel like sticking to a diet. You feel like I should be able to eat whatever makes me feel better. And also the weather's just been kind of gloomy and everything. And I cannot wait for next week when we fall back, because the clocks will make a little more sense with when the sun rises and sets, maybe.
Yeah.
But man, I've been tired this week. I've been unmotivated. eat whatever I want, and no, I'm not depressed. I'm okay. But
Sound great.
yeah.
Yeah.
But my other excuse, I guess, is our gym. We made a tough decision. The gym we had been going to, we were paying more for because they had childcare.
Yeah.
And they don't have it because of COVID. And they had just reopened. And so we were going. And then we kind of made the decision, since this month is about over, we were like, you know what? On this new month, November, we actually live closer to a Planet Fitness, and Planet Fitness is $10 a month.
Yep.
So we're just gonna go. We're gonna go probably on Friday or maybe next Monday. We're gonna go to Planet Fitness, get our memberships, and get going. So this week we haven't really had a gym to go to because the one we normally go to, we just we're done with. So
yeah,
they're a great gym. It's just we're not going to pay extra for childcare when there's not going to be any. So
and drive further. Yeah, and Planet
Right.
Fitness is nice if you're ever traveling and wanted to still go. You could use your membership somewhere else. So
right, yeah, we were reading up on that too, because like if we
Yep.
if we are able to move within
Right.
the year or whatever,
Yeah.
hopefully there'd be a Planet Fitness wherever we're moving. So
and the odds of that are probably better than any other membership. So
right,
yeah, cool.
So cool. Well, let's get into our weekly scorecast.
All right.
Do you want to explain how we're working this?
Okay, yeah. So we have kind of talked back and forth. We've done scorecasts for a little bit on our normal Frustration Nation podcast. Just kind of giving our picks on the lines from Vegas, the point spreads. We don't really do over and unders as much or as many prop bets. We more so just go through the games and pick who's going to win against the spread. So what we've got here, we've got all the NFL games coming up, and then we've got all of the top 10 games for college football. Plus, since Michigan's just outside of the top 10, we've got their game too. So if ever Michigan or Notre Dame are out of the top 10, we'll still put that game in there.
Where did Michigan move to?
13th.
Okay.
Per the poll I got this
8
from.
people.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I've seen another one had them at 10 exactly, but that might have, I don't know if that was one of the actual college football polls or somebody else's. I don't know.
Well, I vote. We go in sequential order. So we do Thursday night football, we do college football, and then we do Sunday football Monday night.
I like
Sound
that.
good?
Yeah, let's do that. So then, quick question. So we're gonna do one lock and one skip for each, right?
Yes.
So I'll explain what that is. Is for each game or for each slate of games. So for college football and for the NFL, we each get a lock, which is worth 2 points, and a skip where we just don't pick that game. That keeps our total the same and gives us a little flexibility because with point spreads and gambling, obviously you don't have to play every game.
Right.
So it gives you a little help there.
Do we have to use our skip, or can we take a chance on a game to earn more points? Or should we have to
I think we should have to use it because that way we don't have to worry about win percentages. We just know that we've played the same number. So
all right, on the same page.
We'll do that. And then if you're pretty confident with all of them, you can even say I'm using my skip here, but I would pick this, and I feel like I don't even need to skip, but it's my skip, So,
gotcha. All right, cool.
So okay, I like that idea though. Let's start with the Thursday night game, which is Falcons at Panthers. Carolina's favored by 2.5 points. Why don't you start with this one? I've got all my picks written down.
I have mine as written down as well. I don't have score predictions written down, just my picks.
Yeah.
But I have the Panthers winning and covering. I think that they're definitely the better team than the Falcons, which isn't saying much, but they they definitely are. They're at home. I think they'll have no problem against the Falcons.
Agreed. I've got Carolina winning and covering, and because the Lions just played the Falcons, be happy, Lions fans, that we won that game, but that game showed a lot of problems with the Falcons. The way they collapsed at the end.
The Bears barely beat the Falcons too. So
yeah, I know they've collapsed. They've got talent on offense, but the way, I don't know how much of the game you saw or what happened that you saw, but Todd Gurley was told in the huddle to go down and not score, and then he half-hearted fake.
I watched that today. Actually, it looked like his momentum screwed him up. Right, he had to break
he forgot
through.
He was gonna not score.
Yeah.
It just was weird. I've heard some theories that since he has touchdown incentives, that he's like, I'm on a bad team, I'm going to get the touchdown and just pretend like I didn't mean to. Who knows? But there's a lot of issues with that team. So I'm going with
doubt
Carolina.
That. Yeah. Anyway, Carolina covering. Awesome. Well, then on Saturday, we have our college football.
Yep.
And so the first one you have listed here is Boston College at Clemson. Clemson favored by 31 points. What you got?
So you remember that game? What was that crazy number we saw like 2 weeks ago?
46.
And I said if I had to play it, that would have been one where at the time, like if we were doing the skips, I would have skipped that just out of principle. Like that's way too high of a point spread. And we saw that because they didn't cover. But 31 points, it's not quite as high. I would be tempted to think the same thing, but I don't know. I kind of feel off of like a slightly tough week where they didn't cover that they will this week, especially with it being a slightly slower point spread. I'm going to go Clemson again. But man, I hate 30 plus point differentials.
Yep.
Like it doesn't take much for starters to get pulled early or it's one turnover and you're like, everything needs to go perfectly. I just can't justify picking against Clemson, so I'm going to go Clemson to cover, but I thought about skipping that one.
I'm going, obviously, Clemson winning, but I did put Boston College to cover.
Yep.
So, because, I mean, even like we talked last week, even a blowout score, even if you get something that's like, 41-13,
right.
Like that's obviously a blowout, but guess what? You didn't win by 31 points.
Yep.
So you don't, Boston College therefore covers. So
and a garbage time touchdown by Boston College. Like so many things mess these covers up.
Yep.
Tough. All right, good. Next up, Georgia at Kentucky. Georgia's favored by 14.5. I've thought about skipping this one.
I'm going to go ahead and first and say that everyone knows, I've said it for the existence of these shows, that I am not a college football expert by any means. I'm still growing in my fandom of it. So a lot of these teams I know base knowledge stuff of, don't have the analytical knowledge that you do. And so a lot of my picks with this are like 100% guesswork, which I feel like could either totally benefit me or totally not benefit.
I feel like it could actually, like sometimes I'll overthink stuff too. So
I put Georgia winning and covering.
Okay.
I feel like I know Kentucky, they played Auburn well, and who did they upset? I forget. They upset somebody.
Was it?
Did they beat Florida?
I forget who was. Let me look.
Maybe it was LSU. They beat somebody big. I think Kentucky is good, but no, I don't think they're going to
beat
cover.
Texas A&M.
I don't think they're going to win or cover, so I'm going to pick Georgia to win and cover. What about you?
Sorry, I was looking to try to see who they beat. If I fight it, I'll let you know, but I'm going to skip this game. Georgia has questions at quarterback. I think they're the better team by 14, but the same things I said with Clemson as far as you never know what's going to happen. One turnover. I know the spread is shorter, but with a quarterback who has question marks, that feels like the kind of thing where one or two sloppy plays might prevent them from covering that. I think they win. If I had to guess, I'd say Kentucky covers, but I'm just going to skip this one.
All right, Memphis at Cincinnati. I skipped this one, which is really lame of me simply because I know little to nothing about these teams. So I have felt totally uneducated to make an actual prediction on this one.
No, that's good. Cincinnati, I'm going to pick them to win and cover the 7-point spread. But they've got a good defense. They've got a pretty solid team and coaching from what we can tell, but they don't play anybody. So I don't know how much we're going to really learn about them, but for now, I'm going to take Cincinnati because 7 points isn't that much. But as far as like later games, or if there's talk of getting them into the playoff, I'll be a lot more critical of them. But I think they cover this.
Texas at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State by 3.5. I have Oklahoma State winning and Texas covering, which I know there's a very tight window there, if you know what I mean. But I am really trying to, I guess, pick something that's, I guess, a little surprising or a little bold.
We're going to keep our, I don't think we had said this yet either. We're going to keep our points, like our records, separate between college and NFL too. Good. Just so we can kind of analyze those separately because like you said, you're kind of newer to like national college football at least. But anyway, all that to say, we're going to have a lot different records on college this week because I'm taking Oklahoma State to win and cover. I think it's a close game. I think it's like a 4 or 5 point game. So for that reason, I almost skipped it, but I think they just barely cover.
Gotcha.
I don't like the slate of games that much for college this week, by the way. There's some tough picks here.
Yeah, Mississippi State at Alabama by 31. There's that number again.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick Alabama to lose. I'm going to pick them to win. But same thing I did with Clemson. I'm going to pick Mississippi State to cover.
Yeah, I agree with you on this one. Just too many points. The only reason I picked Clemson to cover theirs is because they're coming off a game where people had some questions and maybe they were a little disappointing. So that feels like maybe a game you leave Trevor Lawrence in a little longer. But I couldn't do 31-point favorites, 2 of them the same week. So this is the one I picked, Mississippi State.
Yeah. Arkansas at Texas A&M. This is the other one I know little to nothing about.
Yeah, this is tough.
But just going with from what base knowledge of what I know, I'm going to go with Texas A&M winning, but Arkansas covering.
Yeah, I have Arkansas covering too. They've looked good this year. They're 2-2. But they had one game against, I believe, Auburn. That was very controversial with the way it ended.
Yep.
They look super improved. And, I mean, part of that is the reason why it's only 12.5-point spread. Going into the season, people would have expected this to be over 20, kind of anticipating the schedule ahead of time. So that is built into the number already, but I have been impressed by them, and I think they cover.
All right. Missouri at Florida by 13. Again, this maybe shows you how that I don't know anything in college football, but this is my lock that Florida wins and covers.
I like that. Yeah, I picked Florida to win and cover too. I don't know a ton about this one, but the number for me, the way I looked at this is since it's 13, it's below 2 touchdowns. I'll take the favorite here, not knowing that much about it. If it was 14, 15, maybe I think about it a little more, but with it being less than 2 touchdowns, yeah, I'll take Florida to cover. All right, here we get to a game that I know more about.
Yes, you do.
Because, yeah, I mean, I've followed national college football this year, but even I have just not been as locked in. But Big Ten, week 2, Ohio State is a 12-point favorite at Penn State. What are your thoughts first on this? And I'll kind of give thoughts on not just the point spread, but this is going to be a really good game too. So
everything I've been told and understand is that Penn State is a really good team and that before they lost to Indiana, somewhat controversially, that they were pretty much the only other contender in the Big Ten, maybe with Wisconsin, to really make the college football playoff.
Yeah.
I know you would never say this, but with the way Michigan beat Minnesota, I would even put Michigan maybe in that conversation as well. But Penn State usually was everyone's second favorite after Ohio State. So I don't see the thing with Penn State is like they all know what their reputation was going into the game against Indiana, and they get upset.
Yep.
And so they have at this point, they're probably not going to make the college playoff, maybe unless they beat Ohio State. So this one is 100% totally a must-win game for Penn State.
Yep.
And as for you, a Michigan fan, that motivation could work out in the best possible scenario ever for you, because you could end this week with Michigan 2-0 and both Ohio State and Penn State at 1-1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That being said, I still have Ohio State winning just because they are clearly the superior team.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's going to be super tight, super close. Penn State covers.
Really good breakdown. I agree with everything you said there. I also think Ohio State wins, but Penn State covers. The number is too big. People are overreacting to the game against Indiana. Give credit to Indiana. They had a really good game plan. They were gutsy. They had a lot of things go their way, and they're a better team than people think. So I'm not going to kill Penn State too much for this. Plus, like you said, their backs are against the wall. You can't go 0-2 with a shorter schedule in a tough Big Ten and still have any chance to win the Big Ten, let alone make the playoff. So this feels like a bounce back game just as far as how good they look. I still think Ohio State wins though, but give me the points for Penn State.
I mean, their only path to the playoff at this point is to beat Ohio State, or
they really have to win out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Cool.
Notre Dame at Georgia Tech. Notre Dame by 20. I'm super confident Notre Dame will win this game. I think the players are I think the Louisville game was a wake-up call, only scoring 12 points. And so I think the players are very locked in and want to get to this Clemson game in 2 weeks undefeated. So you have a legit shot at playoffs and ACC championship and all that stuff. So Notre Dame is definitely going to win, but 20 is a big number to me. And although Notre Dame better beat Georgia Tech by 20,
yeah.
I was worried about that, which is why I did not make this my lock, but I'm still choosing Notre Dame to cover.
Nice.
So
I was typing your pick and I accidentally typed Penn State instead of Penn State. It was just a little bit of immature.
Yeah, I like
that. Okay. So have you used a lock yet for college football? You did, right?
I did for Florida, Missouri. You didn't pick a lock. Is this your lock, Michigan?
This
Michigan
is my
State?
lock. This is our last pick. So
oh man,
you picked Georgia Tech to cover but lose, right?
No.
Oh, you picked Notre Dame to cover?
I said I was not confident enough to make it my lock, but I'm still picking Notre Dame to win and cover.
Okay, so you picked Notre Dame. All right, cool. This is my huge lock, giant lock of the week.
Wait, did you choose Notre Dame? What did you say?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't even pick that. I was in too big of a hurry. I'm going to take the points. I also think Notre Dame will definitely win this game, but I've seen a few too many close games to be comfortable at 20. It's a tough number because you're not quite to 21.
Yep.
So a 3 touchdown would cover, but I'll take the points kind of until proven otherwise. So
right.
All right. Michigan State. Michigan is a 24.5-point favorite. It's not enough. Michigan is going to bend Sparty over and give them both barrels this weekend. 24.5 might be the halftime spread. Give me like 60 points. And Michigan covers. This is my lock. Michigan State is garbage. Their head coaching's terrible.
If Michigan wins by 60 or more, you can take an extra point this week. Since you said that.
Okay. It very well could happen. And I know, it's a rivalry game. Throw the records out the window. No, like Michigan last year won by 34 points. Their offense improved, and Michigan State lost everybody good on that roster, including their head coach. This could be, no joke, a 50, 60-point win, especially after Mel Tucker. I doubt any of our listeners would have seen any of the press conference stuff unless you live in Michigan. But trying to like create this weird contrived rivalry gimmick where he doesn't call Michigan, he calls them like the team up the road, like trying to be Ohio State 2.0. You know, the word Michigan is one of the 2 words in your school's name, right? Like just a stupid gimmicky, the school up the road. He said it multiple times. Like, you're already in trouble this week. If you want to increase,
at least just refer them to like the team from Ann Arbor or something.
Yeah, it's just as dumb because it's like I hated when Ohio State's whole thing of we're not going to say Michigan, take out the letter M. It's just stupid. And when Brady Hoke from Michigan refused to call them Ohio State, he always called them Ohio. I hated it. Like you're just not proving any team. Yeah, you're not proving anything. It's showing pretentious.
Like, you're showing almost cowardice by doing that. By like, it's not cancel culture or whatever. You're just like choosing to not call them by the. I don't know. That is stupid. Like
it just has never seemed. It's never been like appealing to me or seemed cool. It always just comes off as childish, even when my team does it.
Yeah.
So anyway, Michigan State's had a lot of drama in that rivalry. If you remember a couple years ago, they locked arms across the field. Michigan players push through and then like cleat their logo up at midfield, and like there's already drama there. This is in Lansing. Like it's
punt block.
There's going to be drama already. If Mel Tucker wanted to guarantee Harbaugh's not gonna, kind of be afraid to run the score up at the end, that was another good way to do it. So Michigan's gonna bury Michigan State. That's my lock of the century.
Oh man.
I'm giving you free money, listeners. Like bet on Michigan, get a second mortgage on the house if you have to. What could go wrong? There's no doubt in my mind Michigan covers the spread.
Listen, I have Michigan winning and covering as well. I just, again, 24.5 was a big number, and because it is
big enough.
rivalry, even though I know you're brushing that off, I don't know as much about the rivalry as you do, so that's why I'm not making it my lock. But yeah, I do have Michigan winning and covering.
Yep. All right, cool.
All right. Well, because of time, let's kind of go through these NFL ones pretty quickly here.
Rapid fire it.
Yeah. So Patriots at Bills, Buffalo up by 3.5. I have Bills winning and covering.
Same. Yeah, something's wrong with the Patriots, and I don't know if we see improvement this week.
Yep. Yeah, there's going to be at least one. There's going to be one Bill that's unhappy on Sunday, and that's Belichick.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, Titans at Bengals, Tennessee by 6.
I'm going Tennessee here. Less than a touchdown, it's not enough. Tennessee really impressed in a lot of ways against the Steelers, so I picked them to win and cover the 6.
This is my lock of the week. Tennessee wins and covers.
Oh, that's a good lock.
Yeah,
like that one.
Thank you.
All right, next.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Raiders at Browns. Cleveland is 2.5 point favorites. This one's tough.
Yes, will be a good matchup. Looking forward to watching this one if it's on in my area. But you and I, we've talked a lot how you and I are both high on the Raiders, and I still am high on the Raiders because they got blown up by the Bucks, but the Bucks are good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick the Raiders because I'm going to pick the Raiders until eventually they prove me right. So the Raiders are going to win and therefore cover.
Yeah, I don't know if they win, but I do think they cover. I thought about skipping this game because I also think the Browns looked really strong in the last part of that game against the Bengals. So, yeah, I'm going to go Raiders. Like you said, kind of at this point, like, please prove me right because I've been high on you for a long time and the record doesn't look great.
Yep.
But yeah.
Colts at Lions, and Colts by 3.
Why don't you start? I want to see what your thoughts are.
The Colts are not great.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're better than the Lions still.
Yeah. Agreed.
So it's not a flashy pick or anything, but I feel like I can see the Colts winning by exactly a field goal. So I picked the Colts to win and cover.
Okay.
For that, or I guess that'd be what's it called? Push.
It'd be a push. So I'm
just gonna say cover because I think they'll win.
It's more likely they'd get an extra point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if it pushes, it just won't count for either of us. So.
Okay, cool.
So I don't know if you listened to the last episode that we had you on later. So it's like I told Lions fans, you got to win 3 of the next 4. We've won 2. If we win this game, you've done
3.
Yeah, you're 4-3 and very much alive with very winnable games coming up against the Vikings, against Washington. Like, you're in a really good spot. I think even if you lose this game, you're not necessarily out of contention, but it says a lot because you've got some winnable games on your schedule, and this is also a winnable game, but it's a tough matchup. They do have a good defense. Phillip Rivers has struggled, but he's still an experienced quarterback. I think the Colts probably win this game, but I'm not positive. I want to be a little optimistic, and maybe they just win by a point or 2. So I'm going to take the points for the Lions. I don't know if they win, but I'll take the points.
So you have Colts winning, Lions covering.
Yeah, probably.
Gotcha. Yeah. To me, I just went with that was just so small of a window to fit the Lions covering in. But anyway,
for sure.
Vikings at Packers, Green Bay by 6.5.
Yeah.
Because you can call me an optimist, but I have the Packers winning, but the Vikings covering.
Wow.
Just because it is, again, the rivalry thing you talked about with Michigan State, at some point you do have to throw it out and look at how good one team is compared to the other. But at the same time, rivalries exist more for the purpose of emotion almost than they do for competition, especially when they're regional like this. And I do feel like the Vikings got stomped by the Packers. I feel like the Vikings will put out a good showing. And if Dalvin Cook is healthy, which it seems like he is, then hopefully he can just run all over the Packers defense since they can't stop the run.
True. And isn't Aaron Jones still out?
Yep.
And
Yeah, he didn't practice. They haven't
Okay.
announced, but he didn't practice today.
And Kirk Cousins, even though he sucks, he's good for like 1 or 2 good games a year.
And it's not prime time, so
that helps. Yeah. I like that pick. I did pick the Packers to win and cover. Kind of the boring pick because it was less than a touchdown. It was hard to stay away from that.
Touchdown.
Yeah. So I like your boldness, though. I hope you're right.
Yeah. This is crazy to me. Jets at Chiefs, Kansas City by 19.5. It's crazy, but maybe not that crazy.
No, but I'm scared because the Bills were favored by a lot less, and I very confidently took the Bills, and they didn't cover. I'm gonna punt the ball here. I'm skipping this one.
Oh, nice. That's a good call. For me, 20 points for Kansas City to win by seems fairly realistic. I could see like a 30-10 score. I could see that. But it's just so big of a number that I'm gonna pick the Jets to cover. And by the way, obviously I'm picking the Chiefs to win. Yeah, so this is the Jets' only win of the season.
That'd be amazing.
All right.
So much for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, right. Can you imagine they kissed Trevor Lawrence away by beating the Chiefs?
The Chiefs.
That would in some ways be the most Jets thing ever.
Yeah.
Because people in New York would be celebrating like crazy that they beat the Chiefs.
Right. As much as it hurts their futures. Yeah.
Man, I really want that to happen.
That'd be awesome. Imagine Chiefs fans. Like, how are you gonna live? How are you gonna live with yourselves being the laughing stock of the league? Like, the Jets are not just the worst team this year; they're one of the worst teams in
NFL history,
the decade. Or
yeah.
So that would be interesting. How crazy is it too? Just real quick, that Trevor Lawrence is at school, some college kid taking his algebra 3 class, and he has multi-billion level NFL franchises ruining futures for this guy. Like,
I know.
It's just kind of crazy.
Well, he and Dabo are asked about it like constantly at press conferences and stuff. And recently Lawrence actually said, because a lot of people are starting to be like, well, is Lawrence is he gonna play for another year at Clemson so he doesn't have to go to the Jets? Even though you could still very well go to the Jets next year too.
Probably would, yeah.
But so he's been saying, I thought he was for sure gonna be like, no, I declared for the draft and going, but he basically said, we'll see what happens.
So, stirred the pot a little bit.
Yeah, he sounds open to it. So I can't blame him.
Oh, that's funny. Pull a Eli Manning.
Yep.
He did the same thing. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's funny. Next up, Rams at Dolphins. I almost locked this.
Nice.
I want to see what your thoughts are coming off a game against the Rams. Like what your thoughts are on them, but I picked the Rams to win and cover, and that seems way too low.
Yeah, I mean, I picked the Rams to win. I think that the Rams probably should cover. To kind of be my bolder pick of the week, I did pick the Dolphins to cover so that it's a close game. The Rams are very much like the Bears. I said it last week, and even after beating the Bears by a lot, I still will hold that the Bears and the Rams are very similar teams, similar coach with similar criticisms, similar quarterbacks, similar criticisms, similar defenses with similar criticisms. And I guess when I picked the Rams, I picked them like I picked the Bears, and I can see the Bears and the Rams both blowing out one team that maybe they're supposed to be closer to.
And having a letdown game.
And then having a game where, they barely eke out a win against a team they should absolutely dominate. So for that reason, I'm picking the Rams to win, with Dolphins to cover.
The number kind of looks like a trap a little bit. Like, it's definitely too low, but the bettors, they know these teams. Yep. They know Jared Goff is inconsistent. Yep. So this
Jared
is
Goff is not the reason they won that game.
No, and he's really not been the reason they've won any games.
People
as far as I remember.
that game was all up to about field position, and that entire game, because the Rams punter was ridiculous. Yep. The Bears were starting every drive within the 10-yard line,
and the Rams ran the ball really well.
And and the Rams were starting every drive like between the 30 and the 40. So the field position really was what led that to the win in that game. And I really think for anybody that says Johnny Hecker, the punter, isn't the MVP of that game, I think is out of their mind because he was literally as on fire as a punter can be.
Yeah, just constantly within the 5. Like never once let them out. Yeah, it was crazy. Okay. Next we have, man, this is going to be a good game. Yes. Steelers at Ravens. Baltimore is favored. I know they're the home team, but they're favored by 3.5.
Right.
Surprising to me, I'm getting more than a field goal to take the Steelers. So, I mean, maybe this is the spot they get their one loss, but it's hard to not think the Steelers win and cover. So I'll take them and the points.
Nice.
But yeah, kind of surprised by the line. What did you think?
Well, as far as the line goes, along with college football, the other thing I'm starting to get more used to is betting lines. So I'm not as knowledgeable about it as you are. So just kind of going off my feel for the game. I feel like if there's any game this year that the Steelers lose, it will be this game. So I picked the Ravens to win, but the Steelers to cover. I think it'll be like a 1-point win.
Gotcha. I definitely expect a good game either way.
1 or 3 points win.
So you'll either push or
no, because there's 3.5.
Oh, yeah, it is 3.5. Yeah. So. There you go. Nice. Yeah. All right.
Chargers at Broncos. Chargers by 3. I have the Broncos winning.
Okay.
Which is an upset, but
yeah. I have the Chargers winning and covering. I just think Herbert does enough to get that extra touchdown to put it over the top, but I don't know much about this game. Don't feel great about the pick, but
all right. Next game is Saints at Bears.
Yep.
New Orleans favored by 4. What are your thoughts?
This one's tough. Obviously, I don't want to overreact to one game, but the Bears did show lots of issues on offense. And when the Lions played the Saints, I just remember our defense should have been a lot better, and we could have kept ourselves a lot closer to the game in that game. But trying to catch that offense when they're rolling is very difficult to do, and it's hard to not envision if the Bears get down in this game struggling. I know the run game has been struggling, but if you have to completely abandon that, the offense that's already been bad becomes one-dimensional. I feel like this one's closer than the Rams game. Like, I don't think the Bears are going to get blown out, but I do think the Saints win this and cover.
I agree with you. I think the Bears do not get blown out. In fact, I think the Bears blow out the Saints.
Wow.
I think this is the prove-it game for Matt Nagy. I'm being bold on this, but I don't care. Nice. I think Matt Nagy is like all this heat, all this criticism he's been taking throughout this whole season, and especially this past week. This is the week he makes adjustments. He had a horrible coaching game on Monday. I think this is the game where he makes all the right calls. And I have an actual score prediction that you can hear on Full Press Bears, but I'll go ahead and share it now. Let me double check it so I don't misspeak. But I have the Bears. Where is it? It is. Oh, I have the Bears. Let me try this again. I have the Bears winning. Ready for this? 36-24. So I think it's a big offensive game for the Bears. Their passing game's working, and because the passing game works, it opens up the run game for them. I think this game gives all the Bears fans the confidence they need to go into the Tennessee game and lose. So Bears win is my pick on this one.
I like that. That'd be huge. All right. This is my lock, this next pick. 49ers at Seahawks. The Seahawks are the home team and only favored by 3, which means essentially, for some reason, Vegas thinks this is a pick'em game. I know that the Niners just look really good against the Patriots, and I know the Seahawks just lost. Yeah, like, I get it, but in my mind, it's hard to not think that Seattle is clearly the better team here.
Yeah.
So it's only 3 points. Give me Seattle to cover. The receivers are just going to be too much.
Yeah, I do have similar feelings as you on this one, but to me, the Niners have just been so almost streaky this year, where they'll have a game where they'll have a game like the Patriots or the Rams where they kind of surprise everybody and win. Then they'll have a game against the Dolphins and just get blown out. So this game was just too tough for me to call, so I've chosen this one as my skip.
There you go. That's a good one. Interesting though, like my lock and you skip it. Yeah, yeah. All right, this one is
Garbage.
All right. Cowboys at Eagles.
Eagles
The
by
Eagles
7.5.
are 7.5 point favorites. I know the Cowboys have looked bad, but the Eagles are terrible too.
Dude, the Cowboys have scored like 13 points in their past 2 games.
Yeah, true.
Like that's why the
Man.
Eagles are up by that, and that's why I have the Eagles winning and covering, because I don't have faith that whoever is quarterbacking the Cowboys, I don't have faith that they're going to score more than 3, 7, 10 points this game.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like at a certain point, I just keep thinking at some point Zeke has got to be at least an average running back. But he's terrible. Like I don't know what happened to him. Obviously, we all know the quarterback issues. Now
He got that tattoo that said "Feed me" on his belly.
That's what did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're dumping talent to the Lions. Thank you very much. But yeah, Dallas is in a free fall right now. But 7.5. I almost went with the Eagles just because they definitely have the coaching advantage as much as the Eagles have struggled. But that half point did it for me. I'll take the point and Dallas to cover. If it was less than a touchdown, I'd probably go the other way.
Gotcha. All right. Then lastly, Monday night, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at New York Giants. Tampa Bay by 10.5. I think this one is a blowout, and I have the Buccaneers winning and covering.
Yeah, agreed. Buccaneers are on a roll. This feels like a spot in the season where they just keep cruising.
Yep.
Yeah, just keep the momentum going. That you win and cover easily. I agree.
That's right.
Which takes us to the end of our predictions.
That's right. That's the end of our predictions, and that's the end of our longer version of Dad Bod Central. But we had to get our weekly scorecast in for you guys, so please check that out. Check out our very special Halloween edition of Frustration Nation, which we're going to go record right now. Yeah, it'll be out tomorrow at some point. So please check that out. But as for now, it's time to close this out. So thank you for tuning in, listening, watching Shane eat relish. He'll continue to do that until that bottle is gone. And if he continues to do 2 scoops a night, we might have to increase that a little bit to help it get going. Do you want to give one more to the people that are still watching?
Yeah, got it right here.
Okay.
What's that red thing in it?
Usually, I think they put pepper in it, like a red pepper.
Oh,
you should be grateful to eat something that's not pickle. There's a red pepper. Just eat it.
No.
By the way, I was talking to Richie earlier today, and he said he literally said relish is the best part of the hot dog, which to me is a little much. But in any case, thank you all for tuning in.
Wrong, Richie.
Thank you for tuning in. Go check out our show tomorrow, Frustration Nation, on the Shoot Your Shot Sports Network. It's also everywhere you can get podcasts Tuesdays and Thursdays. Hit subscribe. Shoot us an email. Tweet at us at RealFM Podcast. Before we go, we'll leave you this piece of fatherly advice. Go find your dad. Give him a hug. Tell him you love him. Don't you forget you call us daddy. And don't get blown out in cap or no cap. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next week. Same time and the same place.